I am here with actor and singer Barry Conrad, who just had a big move from his native Australia to New York to further pursue his dreams in the entertainment industry. Talk a little bit about when you first decided acting was what you wanted to do as a career, and also since you're a musician, when did you find your voice vocally that you could sing well?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's so exciting to be doing. You're my first chat with anyone in the US press-wise, so I'm really excited.
Oh, amazing.
So thank you so much. I started acting and performing in general when I was a kid. It was always natural for me. It was in my blood. My both of my parents sing; they're very musical,
Mm.
and I always found myself doing plays and performing. But I didn't really take it seriously until much later. I thought I'd be a cop or something like that. Actually, you a comic book artist. I didn't necessarily have the belief that I could do it until later. But when I did, it was all systems go.
Mm.
Yeah, from there. And in terms of musically, that again, since I was a kid, my dad would make me sing for people coming over and I'd be like, I don't want to do this. And back then I grew up in South Africa, so I was like, I don't want to sing for these people. I'd stop it, that I want to go to my room.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
Did you feel a pressure vocally when they wanted you to perform because they were both singers? Like you had to reach a certain bar in terms of being good, or they probably wouldn't have put you in front of your family if you were going to embarrass them, I think.
Probably. I mean, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't want to like drop the ball, but I didn't have the. When you were a kid and you're still naive and green, you don't think about those things. I just kind of sang disgruntledly. What about you? Are you creative in that way, like music or
Um,
anything like that?
in my mind, yes, I, I think I can sing. And also like I have a director's like eye for things.
Right.
What was it like growing up in South Africa?
South Africa is the most incredible place. I grew up in Cape Town, South Africa, which we like to call the mother city. It's stunning. There's ocean, there's good wine, there's good food. The culture is so rich. It was awesome growing up, and we lived in a middle class sort of neighborhood, so we were relatively unscathed by what was happening. But my parents eventually decided, time to get you guys out of here for the long run, opportunity wise and safety wise, as I'm sure you've heard it can be unsafe there. And then we moved to New Zealand first before I moved to Australia. Yeah.
And were you pursuing your acting then when you were in New Zealand, or did that come about when you were in Australia?
Actually, my very first role I booked when I was still in New Zealand was on Power Rangers, which is like, yeah, this is a long time ago now, but that was my first acting gig. I had done modeling before that, but
Mhm.
that was like my first speaking role kind of thing, other than commercials. So I just sort of started there.
With the modeling, I would assume it's a very different arena than with acting and with singing, insofar as like you're kind of just basing it on your looks, not so much having to push through your talent in terms of, making a statement with your acting or your vocal performance.
Right.
Did you find that as fulfilling? Was it just a whole different ballgame to begin with?
It's a whole different ballgame to begin with. I had an ex-girlfriend at the time who got me into modeling. I was like, I don't want to do this. This is lame. But
Mm.
then started booking jobs and sort of just kept doing it. So I still do it now. It's not necessarily what I wake up or go to bed thinking about, but I enjoy it. But it's completely different. It does teach you an awareness of the lens, which is helpful for screen acting,
Mm.
but it's very different, and it's cutthroat, Brian. It's. I've had an agent tell me verbatim. This is in Sydney actually, and she was like, "Darling, you got to lose some weight. Perfection is desired." And I'm not by any means. I can confidently say I'm not an unhealthy guy,
Right.
but in that world, it's like if you're not a certain look, it's a wrap. I'm sure you've heard stories like that.
Many times. And how damaging it is, psychologically, and leads to body dysmorphia and a whole bunch of different things. Um, when you were in Australia, you were on the soap. Well, we would call it a soap here in America. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
if you guys referred to it there. I know it was a drama, Neighbors, and you played Kane for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
2 seasons, two or
Yeah.
yeah.
2 years, over a couple of years. Yeah.
What was that like recurring on that show, and did that prepare you for a world where a daytime drama here in America would be something you'd go after?
That experience was amazing, actually. I just finished doing a musical in Sydney, and I kind of felt restless because it was my fifth show consecutively. And when you're doing, I don't know if you know much about theater, but it's like 8 shows a week, 6 days a week. So
Mhm.
the grind is real, and I just kind of wanted to travel. So I went over to LA. This is before the world shut down. It was in 2019.
Right.
And I just wanted to feel inspired. I just went to hang out. And I came back from the States feeling like G'd up, like what's next? Like getting on my agent's back, like what's the next thing?
Mhm.
And things weren't really happening as fast as I wanted because, as you know, over here, things happen pretty quick, even particularly, even more so in New York. But I got back and I literally reached out to the production company myself.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm an actor. This is my past agent, so my current agent won't. It's not news. It's not a surprise. But I reached out saying I'd love to, come in and meet with the CEO and see if there's anything going.
Wow.
I forgot about it. Weeks went by, and I got an email from his PA, and is like, Chris would love to meet with you. I went into Fremantle. I was like, what would you like to do? What is your dream? Like, what sets you alive? And I said, I'd love to do drama. I'd love to do TV, film and TV. And he orchestrated the audition for Neighbours, not my agent. So did that, went in there. It was an amazing experience. I got there, auditioned one day, didn't think I did a great job. I was there for 2 days, like in terms of in Melbourne, and I remember thinking I just totally blew that. Next day, I got called in to the actual set to come and have a look through the set. This is not a thing that really happens. I'm like, what's happening? At
Mhm.
this point, I didn't know if I got the job. Sure, I'll come for a little tour. Met people, went home again. Weeks went by again. Got the call saying that I was offered the role. So it's been awesome. I learned to play blackjack because Kane Jones is this like, first of all, fighting. My first storyline was like an underground fight club. Learned fight, stunt training. Secondly, did some blackjack. It was so much fun, and you learn to work pretty quick in soaps because you think you're gonna. You as an actor, you think I'm so prepared. You come and you're gonna have 5 takes. No, sir. You come in there, one take. Okay, we got it. Moving on. I'm like, moving on. That was my rehearsal. So
Yeah,
it teaches you to like think on your feet real quick.
definitely like daytime soaps
Yeah,
now, here in America.
yeah.
So, something that struck out, and we've known each other about 13 minutes now, but you're very charismatic and charming. Do you think they also, or maybe you've already gotten confirmation of this, that you felt that you were green, but they saw a little bit of that greenness, but wanted to see who was behind the audition and maybe bring you in and see what your personality was like and figure you out that way, and that's why they wanted to give you a tour?
Well, first of all, thank you so much. That's really kind. I don't know.
Mm.
When you don't see yourself the way people see you.
Yeah,
I was just surprised because the producer gave me a tour, and but I kind of felt like this is like really cruel if I don't get this role because now they're kind of building it up.
yeah.
But I learned the ropes, and also on soaps, I don't know what it's like here, but they rewrite on the day, and you got to be ready to go. So you learn it, and it really helped to sharpen my craft and learn things quickly, and be a
Absolutely.
quick study. So that's been good. Knowing your marks, learning. I learned like all my like training on that show, which has been so invaluable. I think people can give soaps a hard time, but it's good training. It's really, really good.
And I think
Yeah,
probably went so far as to help you in your stage work too, in your theater performances.
absolutely.
Jake, you could be thrown anything during a theater performance. Could be an audience member, it could be a prop falling down. You learn to work on the fly a little bit.
You do, and that is also the rush of theater. It's so like anything can happen, and it probably will, and it definitely has for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
What's one of the funniest things that's happened while you were performing? And did you break character or did you have to keep it moving?
Okay, this is kind of embarrassing, but I can laugh about it now. Shout out to Michael Castle Group. Michael Castle is amazing. He was one of the producers on The Picture of Dorian Gray here, which won a Tony, a couple of Tonys. He produced a musical called Beautiful, the Carol King musical in Australia. I played one of the drifters, and in one of the numbers that we did, it's four of us cats on stage, and it's like slick choreography and suits, like real awesome. There's one part where we turn around. While we turn around, we simultaneously take off our blazer.
Mm,
and then proceed to make her way across the stage again, with some choreography. Guess
yeah.
whose blazer didn't come off and got stuck in his arm?
Oh gosh.
This guy. So I'm like, I have a stuck arm and I'm just having to do it. Eventually, I get it off. I throw it into the wings, keep going, not breaking character. But Brian, I got off stage and my ego was so bruised, I had to cry in the dressing room.
Yeah. I bet that only happened one time, right? The arm thing.
It happened one time, but like everyone was like, "Did someone get that on camera?" It's like, it's funny. It's funny.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course. You just wrapped a run on stage in a show called Destiny. What was that like
Yes.
working for you?
Destiny
Working
was
on that project.
It was absolutely incredible. It's a life-changing experience for me as an actor, certainly, and as a person, because it was set in South Africa during the apartheid, which is as you know, a very atrocious time and an oppressive time.
Mm-hmm.
I have to acknowledge Zinzi Okenya, the director, who's such an actor's director. She's brilliant, and also the playwright and my co-star Kirsty Morelia, who you may know from Home and Away. She played Rose
Hmm.
on that, and doing that show was such a gift because, first of all, I played another Jones. I played Kane Jones on Neighbours, and this is Ezra Jones. But man, just a meaty, bold, unapologetic character like him, but with vulnerability, was so fun to play, and so I felt so naked on stage because there was nowhere to hide. I had to go to places I'd never gone as an actor before. It was exhilarating, terrifying, exhilarating, exciting, and so rewarding. And that was the very last job I did before moving here in September last year.
And what did you draw on each night to get to that place where you had to be in that mind frame of, your character and seeing what he was going through? Was there specific examples in your life that you went to? Did you just think of just the worst possible thing that could happen to you? And to keep it fresh, did you change up what you thought of each day?
I definitely had a playlist,
Mhm.
which I like to make a playlist on my phone on Spotify for the character.
Mhm.
And during that time, the script, tells you so much information as an actor. Like it gives you a lot of info. And Ezra listened to a lot of Bob Marley, so I listened to a lot of that.
Mhm.
And also, my mom was an activist as well in her own way. She went to rallies and she got chased by police
Mhm.
and beaten with a baton, and she jumped the fence. Like during that time, she was like a bulldog. She went for it. So the craziness that my parents went through, also in an interracial relationship, drawing on all of those things, my character also falls in love with someone. He's a bad guy to the police. So all of those things I could really draw from personally. But he went to some dark places. I had to really every night go deep, like go really get dark sometimes. Like he's a charismatic, big, fun guy, but also he got really angry too. So I had to really go to places that no other character I've played has gone before.
Now, were you able to hang that up at the end of the performance and go home and go about your life, or did you have to like live in it and decompress and then the next morning wake up with a different mindset?
I'm sure you've talked to so many actors about things like this in terms of their process. For Ezra, it's sort of a decompression, not sort of, it was a decompression every night, which meant not necessarily hanging out at stage door. It's not the kind of show for that. So I might say hi, but then kind of get back to the apartment and take pretty much all night to kind of come down from that. Because first of all, when you're on stage or any performance, you're on 20. So the adrenaline is one thing, but then untangling the character and the emotion, regulating your nervous system again, it takes a second. And Brian, I'm sure other actors may have said this to you. Every character like leaves residue with you,
Hmm.
even after the show, even after the role. So in good and bad ways. So it is what it is. Some people can shake it like that. Some people take weeks, months to shake it.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember seeing a show in New York that was very similar to that sort of heaviness where people walked out and they were like, well, do we stay to say something to the actors? Like, because it was such a great show, or
yeah.
like, do we just leave? And nobody could, like, you almost couldn't focus after the show. You had, like, we literally all walked away. We're like looking at each other and we're like, no, like, we had no words. It was just like silent looks with each other. So I resonate with what you're saying. Coming to New York, you said you moved here after the run of the play. So you spent the holidays here in the city, or did you go back home?
Actually went upstate to, do you know where Rhinebeck is? It's upstate New York. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I had some friends from the UK who were coming over with their two little girls, and they were like, "Is it snowing? Is it snowing? Because we want a white Christmas." It's
Or
like pressure's on. And the very next morning after arriving, blankets of snow. So it was like home alone. It was awesome.
that's great. What was
Yeah.
it like being in the city for the holiday season?
Brian, New York has always been my ultimate dream to live and work in. So it was amazing. It could not have gone better. I feel super lucky and blessed to be here. Like, sounds corny, but it's true. Yeah.
Well, and it sounds well, actually, it sounds genuine from this side of the computer screen. Um, what are you what are you looking to break into first? Are you looking to book like episodic work in television? Are you looking to jump back on stage?
Hmm.
New York is a lot
Yeah.
of places you can put your own projects on, even in small little theaters too.
Yep.
Like, what are you operating on right now?
Right. Well, first of all, I have to say I'm genuinely so excited to have signed with Artists First over here. They're amazing, and shout out to Jen Nemoff, who's like a Tony Award-winning producer, who holds me down here in New York, and Kimberlyn Baloney, who holds me down in LA. And now I finally have that international team with CBM back in Australia. So now they got me on the auditions now. So and the level here is higher. So I'm spending my days working on my craft, auditioning, and basically we're throwing paint at the wall and going for everything. Like I would love to want to focus on screen, but I would obviously love to do Broadway as well. I'd love to do a play on Broadway, but we're definitely focusing on episodic on film. Yeah, screen and TV is something that I really want to focus on, and also I can't beggars can't be choosers when you just arrived in New York, right?
Well, you're not a real actor, especially in New York, if you don't do like a Law and Order episode,
Oh yeah,
a horror movie. Like, there are certain things in your career that
yeah.
define you being an actor. And you're now in New York. So Law and Order, you could be laying on a sidewalk as a robbery victim. Hopefully only on Law and Order. I mean, it is
Blink and you'll miss me. I'm just like laying
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's so
Well,
funny.
let's hope for a bigger part. I just meant
Yeah, of course.
in general.
No, but to be honest, like we're taking big swings and we want to go big and we're working hard. So I have an amazing team and I feel exhilarated. I feel really energized to do this. Yeah.
I think you're here in the city. And you may have those opportunities on stage to perform. Are you more comfortable doing musical theater or are you more comfortable with the acting side of things? And I don't mean more comfortable. Do you feel you're better at one? Do you like one more than the other? Do you feel you're stronger in one? That kind of thing.
Brian, this is a tough question. This is not a cop out answer, but the last thing I did was a play and I beep beep. I'm not going to cuss on your show. I loved it so
You
much.
can
Like
cut.
I
It's for
loved,
adults.
yeah. Yeah, I fucking love the show. It was so amazing to do that play. So I would love to do another play again, straight off the bat. And also, music's also my heart. I've signed to Kawaii USA here. They represent Coldplay, Muse, One Republic. So it's both, and that sounds like a pie cut answer, but it's both. I'm very picky though. It's not just any musical or all musicals. It's got to be something that I resonate with. I'm not a when you meet MT people and they know every show, they know all the choreo, that's not me. I sort of fell into it. So it's got to be the right fit always, as with anything, right?
Are there things and you may not want to mention them, but
Yeah.
feel free to if you do. Are there things that you have your eye on that you really would be like, oh, this is something I'm really striving for?
Well, to give you like a comparison, my favorite musical theater role, I would say, well, two of them was, have you heard of Violet? It was a Tony Award winning show here on Broadway. And I
Yes,
played like a sergeant, and it was like a love triangle. It was another strong character with a really strong voice, a good arc, depth there. And then another favorite of mine was In the Heights. I played Benny. So
that's great.
those kind of roles I would love to do rather than necessarily jazz hands. Like I know my lane, man. I'm not about to try to be all things to all
And
men,
and there's nothing
So
wrong with that. That's awesome because why,
yeah,
you know, it's hard enough booking gigs.
yes,
I want to do the ones that are, really you're passionate about.
yes. But I
Yeah,
would love to
I,
do I would love to do a play here. Absolutely. It would be awesome. Yeah.
In the Heights is an amazing musical. I mean, I
Yeah.
saw that 5 or 6 times when it was on Broadway. Never with Lynn. It
Jesus.
was always after the fact, but so power, such a great show.
And I have to also say, in the production I was in, we did it at the Opera House, Sydney Opera House, and Janet DeCarl, who was one of the OG cast members of In the
Yeah.
Heights here in New York,
Was she?
her and her niece were flown over from here to Australia to play Nina and
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah, amazing, right?
Great. Yeah, I remember she was still in the show when I saw it. Yeah, that's
Oh wow, there you go.
yeah. Wow. So what are you doing day to day? Like keeping busy? Are you while you're auditioning and stuff, are you a writer? Do you like to put pen to paper and make your
Yep.
own character?
Well, other than obviously working on my craft, being in coaching, all of those things, working with brands, I also am busy in pre-production with the fourth season of one of my podcasts.
Mm.
It's called Banter with BC, and basically it's a show because I love to eat. I don't know about you, but I love food so much. So I thought to myself, how can I create something that involves doing two things I love, eating and connecting with people? So I created Banter with BC. I talked to leaders in their field over food. People like David Barry from Outlander, Keenan Lonsdale from The Flash, Ethan Brown from Home and Away, who you might know. And so in season 4, launching here, so working on that. And then I'm also the co-host of the Atlanta-based intermittent fasting podcast with SAG actress Melanie Avalon. So busy days with
That's
acting
amazing.
as well as doing my podcast, which is really fulfilling too because I love to produce and create content. I like to, you're never going to find me waiting by a phone. I like to keep productive and not be a victim. Just take control of what I have and yeah, go for what I want.
That's an amazing mindset. What you just said there was great. Um, yeah, the definitely will have places to eat in New York. I think you'll find some great places to share a meal. And do you find, as an interviewer myself, do you find sharing a meal, it makes it easier to talk with people as you're breaking bread because it doesn't feel like a point blank question and answer session and it's more of a conversation?
You know what exactly what you said right there, Brian. Breaking bread with people, it's actually one of the most powerful, amazing things to do with people because it brings you on an even playing field
Mhm.
and it breaks that veil down, that people can sometimes have, or that veneer of like, I need to put this thing on because I'm a celebrity or whatever. But yeah, it's so good. And people want to connect because I also thought, I don't know what it's like here, but in Australia, sometimes people can think, this is my shine, this is my gig. I don't want to give it to you. And oftentimes there's this rivalry pitted against each other and people don't end up connecting, even though we're all in the same game.
Yeah.
So I wanted to break through that. And once people are on the show, they're like, man, like, thanks for just talking. Like, I don't get to talk to fellow actors and stuff. So that's the whole point to break that stigma that we need to. Nothing that's for you is going to leave you anyway. You think, are
Right.
you that insecure that you think you're going to lose what you have by talking to someone? So
Right.
that's the whole thing with connection, connecting with people. Yeah.
I 100% relate to that. I love that.
Yeah.
I also think it's funny that you have where you share a meal, but then you're like, now stop eating for this amount of time in your podcast. It's like dangle the meat and then no, you can't have
It's
it.
actually so funny because I always get a lot of slack from people that know me. Like, I'll ask this really deep question, and because I try to eat like in a real dainty way, but I just love my food so much and I can't do that. So, so tell me about that really dark time in your life. I'm like, and my editor likes to like put me on blast and zoom into me eating. I'm like, people
Turkey
go
leg
like, bro,
hanging out.
it's like, bro, are you listening to them? Or are you just there for the food? It's like,
Maybe a little bit of both, but we won't
yeah,
we won't answer that question, right?
yes.
Barry, I wish you all the success here in New York and wherever the acting journey takes you. Like, I know you're excited about New York, but like daytime is in California, so you never know where you're going to end up. You could get a touring gig, but really, best wishes to you here as you start your new journey. It's got to be exciting for you to start in a city like this.
It's really exciting. Speaking of LA, I might actually be there next month. Yeah, so watch the space for an event out there. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice. That's very cool.
awesome.
Thank you so much, Barry. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me and have an amazing day. Thanks, Brian.